I rarely eat steaks at restaurants because I've learned from some pros how to do it the way they cook at the restaurants. And unfortunately, sometimes it's better than the restaurants. This is the trick though. The first thing is you want to let your meat sit out at room temperature for hours. I'm not kidding. I let it sit for 2 to 3 hours at least. So it's room temperature. Another secret of mine, clarified butter. All you do is slowly boil your butter until the milk solid is at the bottom of the pan. That's a whole nother video I'll show you later. Another thing too, you have to pat dry your meat so it's bone dry. I will be salting and peppering this, and yeah, that'll make it super easy so that everything clings on. There's no moisture. That's what you're trying to do. You don't want any moisture. That was a trick I learned from my friend Matt. So normally at a restaurant, a really good one, they'll baste this. So they'll do all the cooking inside of a pan. By the way, this is a stainless steel pan. You can also use a cast iron pan. But what I like to do is set the oven 500 degrees. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sear it on the pan. I'll throw it onto this pan with some, or the rack, whatever. I'm going to throw it in the oven at 500 degrees for about 3 to 5 minutes. The reason I like doing this is because when you're searing it on the pan and you're basting it, it can be messy. And one of the problems is it gets smoky in the house. I'm going to turn on this fan. But the secret is temping your meat. Bam! And so when you're doing it in the pan, you're always poking and prodding. You don't know if you overcooked it. I've got this down to a science. And temping your meat is important. So I like to get it to about 125, 130 degrees. Remember, when it's sitting afterwards, it's gonna get a little bit warmer inside. So if you like it well done, cook it to 140 and it's gonna be way overdone. But if you like it medium rare, I stop it at 125, 130, and then it's gonna be perfect. And then let your meat rest as well. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on to the highest heat. But you want your pan to get very, very warm. I mean, to the point where it's really hot. Because the trick here is to sear your steaks just so that you get that caramelization, that crust on the outside, but you don't want to completely cook the steak. I will be using the side fat right there to add fat or oil to the pan, but I also will be using my clarified butter. Alright, so at this point, I want a timer, so start it, and I'm going to cook these for 1 minute on each side. I got in just about a minute, I'm going to go ahead and stop it. What you want to do is spread out that oil like that, and boom, flip it like that. Same thing on this side. Normally you only do one steak, but I cook him for my dad too. Damn. Reset. Start it again. 1 minute on that side. Alright, so at this point I'm going to flip it one more time. And I'll sear it just for 30 seconds. Same thing. See, look at that color. Oh, that's a nice color right there. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm just gonna go for 30 seconds, okay? Remember, use a timer. 30 seconds, boom. Watch, this time it'll be way nicer. Oh yeah, there we go, there we go. Same thing on this side. Oh yeah, that's the color right there that you want. I'm gonna turn off this heat, cook on the side for a hot second. 500 degrees. At this point, I'm gonna set a timer for probably 3 or 4 minutes. I'm gonna go for 4 minutes. 4 minutes. All right, so 4 minutes. Really important to watch the time. It can easily overcook in the oven. Have your thermometer ready. This is so important to having a really good steak. It's kind of smoky in here, so I'm gonna open some more windows. So I'm gonna turn on the heat again because I'm gonna make a mushroom sauce. I'm just using Trader Joe's mushrooms. They're frozen. You can use any frozen mushrooms. But before I do that, with what's already in the pan, just put the onions in there. Let that saute for a hot second. Timer is about to go off. Timer is going off. There we go. Like this. Maybe like a 125 is good. That one's okay. Let's see. See? That's the middle right there. Just getting there. Probably 2 minutes. 2 minutes is perfectly fine. So at this point, it can overcook really quickly. So only set it for 2 minutes. If you want like 3 or 4 minutes, you'd be okay. There's enough fat in this New York where it's not going to be a big deal, but if you want to get it right to that perfect 130, 135, don't leave it in too long. So while that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and let that stir. Let these mushrooms really do their thing. Whoa! Oh, look at that. So it says 122, but that's going to go up as it just sits there. See? It's different parts of the steak. Let's try the deepest part. Oh, see? That's perfect. That's right where I want it. It's going to actually come up to temp. And it feels good too. Oh, yeah. It's been resting for about a good 2 or 3 minutes. This is one of the secrets. You want to let your steak rest for a good 5 to 10 minutes. So I know that seems extreme to let your steak rest for 5 to 10 minutes, but trust me, it'll be so much better. It's gonna be so moist inside. When you cut into it, not as much of the juices will spill out. And there's just something about it not being blazing hot that's really good about it. The flavor, I think, is better. And so at this point, what I like to do, if I didn't make a mushroom sauce, I would pour the fat right over this and let it rest, or wait till I slice it. But I'm gonna let it rest for another few more minutes and then slice it. And let's see what Judy thinks. Really important that you temp the meat and you let it rest. I can't say that enough. The reason most people's steak doesn't turn out the way they want because they're not temping their meat and they're not letting it rest. If you do that, night and day difference. From the middle too. Honey, you gotta try it with the mushroom sauce.
my god, the way that melts in your mouth.
All right, so now try it with a little bit of the mushroom sauce that I made right here.
Oh my gosh, that is so good.
Can you try it with the
So
mushroom
good.
sauce?
Man, what a hard life. I gotta do this for you. Okay, I'm ready.
You're ready to eat?
You're so good, thank you.
This is the way to cook steaks perfectly.
And how to please your wife.
And how to please your wife, your hot wife. So I do like to eat it with some rice,
Oh,
some arugula,
so good. I love this mushroom.
the mushroom
I love
sauce.
mushroom.
But this, I would say, is medium. But when you have a lot
Yeah.
of fat, that's okay. And that's what's cool about this method.
This is how I like it. But yeah,
What's
the
cool
fat
about this
part-
method, this is technically overcooked for most people's preference, but because it's got heat all around and it
not
was
dry.
resting, this is what happens when it rests like this. It loses some of that deeper red color, but it's so good. Honey,
It's not dry, yeah, it's good. The sauce.
is this as good as a restaurant?
Honey, you've ruined steak for me though. At restaurants.
We can't order it from restaurants anymore.
No. Not in this house.
Thanks to all the amazing chefs that have taught me how to do this. Matt, especially you. Oh, and also, this is the knife that he actually gave me. This is a knife maker in Seattle. I'll put the link down below. But guys, I'm telling you, you can't go wrong with this. Can't go wrong with this. I like all those juices. That's the clarified butter.
It's so good. Can we eat and watch The Crown now?
Uh-huh. This is our date night in, so I gotta go.